Well, that's one. Okay, so like I said, I'm watching Royal Rumble at the same time here. That's one call up, which is good. Um, I hope if you're watching this, you haven't watched Takeover, because I might talk a little bit about it in this. Actually, I probably will right now, honestly. um, a couple of call-ups that I think a lot of people have talked about wanting to see. A lot of people want to see Samoa Joe before he gets too old come up to the main roster. So there's that. Seriously. They only have 5 flexible spots to work with, and they already gave one to Mark Henry. They gave one to Ty Dillinger, which I like. They gave one to... Let's see here. Mark Henry, Ty Dillinger. I don't know if the Big Show counted in their pre-count or not because it happened really, really late in this. Let's see. Um, I would like to see them bring Samoa Joe up. I think it would be good. I would want to see uh, Shinsuke Nakamura come up. And here's a spoiler from Takeover. He lost the belt to Bobby Roode. And so I feel like that's a perfect opportunity to bring him up because I just feel like he's shown how much charm he has. Oh, there's Dean Ambrose. I like Dean. I feel like they've shown that he is ready. He's got the personality up to speed, I feel. He speaks English well enough that I feel like other than the most conservative viewers, which there are conservative viewers in uh in the WWE universe, of course. But I feel like it's enough that the general audience would not complain. Get out of the way, man. I want to go in that door. I'm curious what's in there. Effects. What if I have no face? That doesn't do anything. What if I wear a scarf and a hat? Nothing. How about if I have long hair? No? Dude, get out of the way. Go. Go! Hmm. But yeah, so I feel like Shinsei Nakamura could come up. Obviously Asuka can't right now because again, spoiler alert, she totally won last night. She did an awesome job. It was great. Asuka should come up at some point, but I did think it was interesting that for a while, both the women's and NXT heavyweight champion, or I guess it's just called the NXT championship. The NXT championship, both of them had a... Oh, Baron Corbin. Both the women's and men's champions were Japanese. I thought that that said something about maybe the American interest and also the fact that they've been in pretty big competition with NJPW lately. And while NJPW doesn't typically have as much story, hey, this is different. There's not much down here, but this is different. Um, it's not quite as promo story based, I'll say. It still is a competition where the fights are a story being told. So in that way it's story based, but it's not as much out of ring story and not as much personal development. Oh, there's your new competition is Corbin versus Strowman probably. I'm glad to see Zayn lasting that long. Pow! That's a good shot. Sorry, that was really loud. That's a good shot though. I can't believe Sammy can swing his leg that high in the air to be able to kick Braun Strowman in the head. I really like Sammy. I really wish they would do more with Sammy. They've kind of subjected him to this like get beaten up mid card treatment. Is it Kofi Kingston? I was gonna say he's got to be in because he's got to survive getting knocked out of the ring in a weird way again this year. I was gonna say he's kind of become a show in that way. I feel like Kofi needs to have more singles experience because I feel like he's a good guy and that he has talent. Everybody's just throwing everyone over the apron, but not all the way out. Baron now. Um, but yeah, so I was saying, oh yeah, I like Sammy. I wish they would do more with Sammy. He's one of the characters. He and Bailey have just gotten the shaft since they got up to the main roster, which sucks because both of them were extremely liked when they were in the lower tier back when they were in NXT. And they're still doing the same thing, and the crowd loves both of them, but they're not getting any of the spotlight they deserve. I feel like Sammy should have held the Intercontinental Championship at some point by now, and I feel like he should have had a legitimate run for the Heavyweight Championship. He had kind of a on again, off again kind of thing at one point. Oh, here comes the Miz. He had some level of a like he showed up every once in a while for a little while in the competition versus Owens, and then they said it was never gonna happen again, and it'll probably happen again. Either way, and I mean they work well together, so that's fine. But I really feel like by now Zayn has deserved a couple of championships because he's really good. He's very charming. People really like him. It's not like the crowd hasn't done anything about him. Oh, did Zayn get eliminated? Okay. I was gonna say, I would be sad. I mean, it's obviously gonna happen. They're gonna have some big guy win because they've put so many big guys in this competition this time. They've done things that I like this year. I've been much more an avid fan of SmackDown than I have of Raw. There have been a few episodes that I figure Raw did better than SmackDown, but I've found on average. I felt on average that SmackDown has performed better than Raw in my experiences of the episodes. The things that they have done on SmackDown with the characters feels like they've done more with their characters than Raw has. Raw relies too heavily on the same five people instead of giving all of their talent a chance to shine. and they haven't spent enough time building up. Um, he hasn't spent enough time building up their mid carders, and I really feel like their mid carders have a lot of. Hello, did I freeze it, or is this just? Oh no, it just lagged for a minute, I guess. Oh hey, Seamus. Oh, did they? I didn't see that part of the kickoff show. This kind of reminds me lightly of Undertale. Very lightly. Okay, so get away from that. Let's just get captured. I haven't seen this one's capture. You're different. I'm different. Blah. Ooh. Run away. It's what's her face. Oh, there's several of them. Oh, I don't like this one bit. Boo. I don't know. I feel like, yeah. So I feel like Raw has wasted some of their talents, and I feel like they need to do more developing of the cruiserweight division. That was the other thing that I was trying to say. Yeah. I feel like they need to do more development of the cruiserweight division. I feel like they are wasting too much by doing just the fights. I feel like there are two ways they can do it. One, they can do just like they did in the Cruiserweight Classic, where they build everyone up by giving them their history, and you learn a little bit about them, and that's the way that you learn who they are. Or you can give them feuds like you do with everyone else. But the problem, oh, that must be Big E. Let's see here. What's yes, it is. Is it Big E? Yep, Big E. Um, so I feel like they need to do something though, because there are a couple of feuds related. Like there's the T.J. Perkins Brian Kendrick feud, and there's the Rich Swann Neville feud, and they're both decent. I mean, they're not the best feuds in they're in that universe, but they are fair. I mean, they're coherent, I guess is the way to put it. Hey, it's you guys again. These two are raising the roof. Look, they're partying. Like, woo! Look at me. But let's see. Um, so I feel like SmackDown has done more with their people. I feel like the biggest qualm I have is the women's division. The women's division. Meta mod. Does that mean that I now can have a hand for a head? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, Rusev. Um, is he wearing a mask? Okay. Oh, it's a nose shield because he has a broken nose, but he's still in the Rumble. I feel like I feel like that's a little bit of a suspension of disbelief loss because I feel like you would have not been in a match if you really had a broken nose. I feel like your doctors would have said, no, you can't do that, or it's gonna just destroy your septum and you're never gonna be able to breathe again. Hi there. I talked to you earlier. Is anything different now? You can kiss at me, apparently. You hear this? I can't tell what the audio is like because I don't know where, there's no one in my chat right now. I don't have anyone to ask, and I don't want to turn it up because then it might cause a feedback loop. Um, what's up? Bro, high five? Face? High face? Who's next? Cesaro's number 19. So yeah, I feel like they didn't do enough call-ups this time. NXT is their training division, and they brought up one NXT member. Or Sammy. I really like Sammy. I like Sammy. I like Dean. Whoa! I don't remember this. I like it, but I don't remember it. There's all kinds of sound effects. I don't know how much you can hear it. Let me see my audio settings here real quick. I hope this doesn't overpower everything. Mic, 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 mic. Yeah, that's gonna be too loud. How about this? Maybe this will work. Oh, well, Xavier Woods, he's the only one left. How about 22? 22, does that seem okay? There we go. I feel like that I'm audible well enough here. Because the biggest thing is, I've had ones where I go back and listen to the video, and even if what I'm saying is not interesting, I don't like that I can't hear what someone's saying when they're talking, even if I'm not interested in what they're saying. Like, if someone's doing some sort of rant video and I'm listening to it, and even if I'm like, this person's an idiot, which I don't frequently watch those type of videos. Usually if I think they're an idiot, I just stop watching. Or I already know they're an idiot and just decide not to watch them in the first place in a couple of cases. But even if that's the case, if their recording quality makes it so I can't understand them, that's more likely to turn me off in the first place. Because I'll usually lend my ear to someone, even if I disagree with them, at least long enough to hear their point, and then decide if I disagree. And if I feel like it's something where I could consider their arguments because it's not totally an outlandish claim, then, I'll listen. But if I can't understand what they're saying because they're too quiet, that bothers me. And so, like, several Let's Players who I've decided to stop watching have been simply because their recording quality makes the audio too hard to hear them. Well, there's some sort of guy here. Oh man, it's Bray. I like Bray. Another character who was popular in NXT and is still popular on the main card that they never do anything with. They never give him championships. The only reason that he had the tag team championships at all was because they wanted to force a push by giving Randy Orton to the team, which I still don't feel like it felt genuine at all. Oh yeah, no, Bray is super popular, guys who are commenting. Man, there are a lot of people in there right now. People are lasting a long time because they really want. That's the biggest problem is that this year at the Rumble, they're trying to push so many people. They've made it so big. Everyone's name is so big that no one's going to be eliminated. Part of the push of certain years is that they have a few people that you can throw over to give a guy a like 7 defeat lead kind of thing. And or like seven eliminations, which is huge for a single thing. But everybody this year is a big deal, you know. All the names are huge this year, and so while that's cool because it means there's a lot of draw power and there's a lot of talent in the match that actually deserves to win and is pushed as a winner and has a personality that you could take seriously being champion, because that's the biggest problem with like Fandango. Fandango, the wrestler, is a talented man. He's very talented. From everything I've heard from people who've done reviews and who've, seen a lot more of those characters than me. Apollo Crews? They're putting in Apollo Crews? Okay. Um, he's apparently, yeah, he's a talented guy. And he deserves merit. But the character they've given him would look kind of strange with any kind of major championship. Likewise with Tyler Breeze. Down in NXT, it could make sense to give him a championship because, it's a quirky personality that was performed very well. He does a great job at being the self-centered D-bag who takes pictures of himself with, oh, whoa, that was all of New Day just eliminated. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Um, so it made sense. Hi there, mouth guy again. I'm a hand. Isn't that cool? Aren't you proud of me? What happens if I give myself the hair and talk to him? Nothing. Sad. Um, but I don't see how they could have made Tyler Breeze or Adam Rose into a champion with their gimmick. Were they both eliminated too? There, and that's what really sucks is because Adam Rose, I can't remember his actual name off the top of my head. Um, he's a hard worker and he was respected by a lot of people. And they all had talent, but they weren't really booked in a way that would have been a thing that the general populace would have said that it made sense for them to be a champion, which sucks. I feel like it's one of those where their development personality probably should have changed on the main roster, similar to the Vaudevillains. They're all people who are talented and all do a great job, but the gimmicks that they have in developmental are totally okay to have a quirky gimmick in a developmental stage, but when you're on the main roster, people are a little more picky because while everyone who's a wrestling fan knows that it's staged. Even though they know it's staged, they still want a character you can believe in. That's what makes it the reason Undertaker is respected is because Undertaker has been around so long. If you were to push that particular character today as a brand new character, people would wonder what you were doing, and it probably wouldn't have gotten nearly as much push as it did. Because the job gimmick and the freaky woo woo kind of stuff doesn't win over people as well now as it did in the 90s. But that said, what they did with Bray Wyatt in the general sense, I feel can win people over. It's an evolution of what the spooky character can be. Because are you the same guy? Nope, now this one's blonde hair. Um Look at me. Look at me with my beautiful locks. Um Bray Wyatt, while they kind of have done some like freaky pseudo magic kind of things, and like when they gave Randy Orton the flames over his eyes, people still make fun of it because of the idea that it's just nonsense that would be happening when they're trying to push a kind of a more real world style. um, and while they've done those kinds of things, Bray Wyatt's general character is just that of like a backwoods cultist kind of, extreme hyper religious person. And so, well, more of an end of days kind of protester. Oh, did they get rid of Luke Harper's actual entrance? Oh, but it was a fun entrance. Um, I like Luke too. I feel like they should give Luke some sort of singles push. Give him an IC title or something. From what I understand, he's a likable guy as a person, which is cool. But yeah, so I feel like the horror quote unquote gimmick that works the best for current times would be what Bray is. Undertaker, on the other hand, the gimmick's origin is what saves it.